Hello and welcome to Paper Plate Julie K. Thank you so much for stopping by, and today I have a stunning stack of letters to share with you as a guest design team project for Kraft Supplies for You. And again, Kraft Supplies for You is an online store that carries a wide variety of products from beautiful laces and trims and doilies to embellishments, bling, charms, those kind of items. And all these products, of course, can be used on a wide variety of different craft projects, and this is one example of how you can use many of the Kraft Supplies for You products. And like I said, I'm really excited to share this with you guys. And it is a stack of letters. Some people call them friendship letters, and other people call them a stack of love letters or just a stack of letters. And then what's a little bit different about mine is I did decide to add kind of a hidden compartment or make mine into a box just so that it would be functional also. And I originally saw this idea on someone else's channel on YouTube, and I don't know who it was. And I tried to go back and find her channel, and I thought I knew who it was, but I couldn't find the video. But she had originally used a die cut to cut out the middle pieces inside. So that's who I was thinking of. So if you happen to be that person, please let me know so I can share that information with everybody in the description box. But I just can't remember who it is. I came across some other ones where people had done boxes and stuff, but it wasn't the one that I was thinking about. So anyways, thank you to whoever you are for that idea, and it was probably something I saw about a year ago on YouTube. And so here is kind of what it looks like. I did post pictures at the beginning of the video, but I'll post pictures again at the end of the video so you guys can kind of look at it head on or from a side angle so you can kind of see all the gorgeous details. But the majority of what I used in this stack of letters today did come from Kraft Supplies for You. I did use a lot of envelopes from my stash to create this, and then I created a couple of envelopes using the Prima paper. I think it was the Tales of You and Me paper line. And so what I ended up doing is taking my envelopes, and I put mat board inside of my envelopes. I just have a lot of mat board on hand. My husband used to sell wildlife photographs, and he cut up his own mats. And so he'd have all sorts of remnants left over, and I saved them for projects like this. So I do have all those in here, and I used quite a few. I mean, I think I had like maybe 18 envelopes, something like that. I had quite a few. And then, so if you look at it, I'll just show you kind of the basics of it. I do have some seam binding that I did get from my friend Shonda, and I did tea dye it just so it had a little bit more of a vintage look to it. Since this paper has a little bit more of a vintage feel to it. So the top envelope is functional. You can open it up, and I do have a spot in here to like put a note or maybe a hidden love letter or something like that inside of that top envelope. And then if you pull up this little dainty lace right here, and again, that's Kraft Supplies for You, and you open it up, I do have, like I said, a little hidden compartment or a box in there that you could stick all sorts of wonderful goodies in there for the recipient. And so again, I'm just going to go back and kind of point out all of the different supplies that I use. So I did have some seam binding that I kind of tie up here, and I did wrap that underneath the bottom before I glued it down just so I could tie it up, and then it would look like a pretty stack of letters that have been tied. As far as the top envelope, if you look at this, the flat back pearl trim right here that I have going around the envelope, that does come from Kraft Supplies for You. And in my opinion, I think everyone should have some flat back pearl trim in their stashes just because it's so versatile and you can use it on so many different projects. And then inside of that, I do have a little bit of this cream colored trim, which is just from my stash, and that was actually just a little remnant piece that I had left. I had just enough to go around those three sides for that one. And then also from my stash, in each corner I had these little acrylic flowers. And then if you go ahead and look in this corner right here, I have a little bit of glue still sticking there. I have this adorable cabochon with the birds on top, the doves on top, and that does come from Kraft Supplies for You. And I went ahead and put in a picture of Marie Antoinette that I purchased off of Etsy a while ago. And then on top of that, I added some glossy accents. And underneath there, you can see one of the 3D loopy flowers that you can purchase at Kraft Supplies for You. And Julie does sell these on a ribbon, and you get a yard of it. And I have to tell you guys, it's a really great deal for that, because the other day I was actually at a big box store, and they were selling just these loopy flowers, and it was like 6 in a package, and they were like $1 each. And I know that her trim, you get way more than what they had in this package for Julie's store, that you can get a whole yard of it. So it's a great deal compared to what you're finding in the big box stores for the exact same type of embellishment. So this is actually one of my really favorite trims from Kraft Supplies for You, and I usually choose to take it off of the ribbon and use it as a small embellishment. Julie does have it in other colors in her store. There's a pretty green, kind of a mint or soft green color, and there's some lavenders, and I believe she has a couple shades of blue, and I think there's a black one. So like I said, there's all sorts of colors. And so now getting back into this little cabochon thing, I did go ahead and add a little kind of wine colored or burgundy colored paper flower that does come from Kraft Supplies for You. And so now if we go back up into this corner up here, I had this gorgeous bead spray, and this also comes from Kraft Supplies for You. She does have quite a wide variety of different options for similar things that you can layer up behind butterflies and different flower sprays like that. I did go ahead and add also a butterfly, and this also comes from Kraft Supplies for You. And originally this butterfly did have some crystal flat back bling to it, and I went ahead and took it off and added pearls just because I was kind of going with a vintage theme, and I really liked the look of pearls and vintage. So I did alter that slightly. But Julie does also sell butterflies in wider sizes than this one and all sorts of colors. And I believe she also has kind of like a variety pack where you can purchase and you get quite a few different colors in the variety pack. And then right here, as on top of my little closure that I have right here, I went ahead and layered a whole bunch of my Kraft Supplies for You doilies. And these all came in a variety pack that Julie sells in her store. And they just make the most gorgeous little doily flowers. You just layer them up. And then on top of that, you can either add like one of the Kraft Supplies for You bling, or in this case, I went ahead and added one of the 3D loopy flowers that I had. And it's just so pretty. I just love those little embellishments. And then in the corner right here, I added one of her key charms. And I like using these just as little embellishments, but you could also make a charm out of these keys. And then behind there, I just have a little snippet of a flower. And that comes off of one of the trims that I have from Kraft Supplies for You. And then up in this corner, I have this little acrylic or plastic heart. And I just love these things because they add just such a little extra detail or touch to whatever project you're making. So I added that right there. And so again, now I'm just going to hold it kind of on the side view here. This is one of the trims from Kraft Supplies for You, and I just cut it up. I think she calls it a white dainty trim, and you can also add two of these pieces together, and they kind of make it look like a doily also. But I added it right there because I wanted kind of something to open up my box, and that was perfect, and it was beautiful. And then you can see off on the side here, all of these trims are all little remnants or bits and pieces left over from my Kraft Supplies for You stash of laces and trims. This is a Venice lace right here. Here's another really pretty one right here. And then if you look a little further down on my box, you'll see a doily. And this doily I actually cut in half, and I stuck half of it here. And then there's another half that I have hanging off of the bottom and the back. So that's one way to kind of extend your doilies if you're doing projects like this, is you can definitely cut them in half and use them in different spots. And then even underneath there, if you look, I even have another little piece of Kraft Supply for You lace. And that was my last little bit I used to kind of throw out here. Also, kind of around the whole box, I do have a string of pearls, and that did come from my own stash. And then also at the base, all the way around is that gorgeous Venice trim from Kraft Supplies for You. And that just kind of gave my base a really finished off look, I thought. And then I went ahead and tried to add something in each corner. I did make my corners, my base of my stack of letters larger just because I wanted them to sit on something, and I really wanted to heavily embellish everything because I just think it's so gorgeous. So in this corner, I went ahead and added one of Julie's little cherubs. And I love these. They're good quality ones. I've seen some in the past that are like really plasticky looking, and they just are not very good quality, where this one's a good quality one. And behind that, I did layer a little gold rolled flower that comes from Kraft Supplies for You, and then another one of the little burgundy paper flowers. And then also, I save all my leaves when I take apart some of the flowers that I buy from Kraft Supplies or get from in my design team project from Kraft Supplies for You. And I just kind of layer them kind of throughout. And I think these ones came off of this flower right here. And so that's kind of that corner. And then if you look at this side right here, my stack of letters, again, I have all sorts of trims. I had, if you guys saw my first project this month, my knitting needle case, this was one of the back panels of lace, and so I just cut off, because I still had a little bit left, so I just cut off that little piece right there. Here's another little lace trim from Kraft Supplies for You. And underneath there, you can see another one sticking out. And then more of my little bead trim. I do have some way at the bottom of the base. I have some teardrop pearl trim right down there. And that was just a really small piece about this big that came from my stash. But Julie does sell that in her store. And I believe you can get, it's quite a large roll that you can get of that one. And in different colors too. And so now going on to this little corner right here. Again, I still have kind of that string of pearls kind of strung throughout, but I have 3 more different flowers in this corner that come from Kraft Supplies for You. I had this dark wine color, and then this mauve color, and then this really small closed white rosebud. And I know the mauve one and this little white rosebud one, when you purchase these, you get like packs of 5, which is a great deal, and you get so many in there that I'm going to be using these in quite a few projects in the future, just because I got so many of them. And then going ahead on to the other side again, you can look, I use so many different laces and trims from Kraft Supplies for You. They're all kind of hanging out in between all my letters. I just love that look. And then again, back to this back corner, we already talked about that little doily on the base that I had cut apart. There's another of that gorgeous mauve flower, very similar is the pink one right there. And another little white one that's closed. And then I went ahead and added another gold rolled rose there, and then another mauve flower right here in the corner. And then on this side, again, just more laces and trims from Kraft Supplies for You that I stuck in between my letters as I was gluing them together. I have this gorgeous fabric flower that has some little pearls coming out from it. That's one of my favorite fabric flowers that she carries. It's just so tiny and petite and elegant looking all at the same time. And then again in this corner I did kind of almost the exact same thing. I just used the combination of all those flowers from Kraft Supplies for You and layered them up, and then I went ahead and added some little leaves. And again, these leaves come from, I think, this flower, and then also the pink one had leaves on it that I took apart and used. And the ones that I didn't use on the project, I'm saving to use in future projects. And so, again, it does open up, and when you open it up, here's kind of what it looks like on the inside. And I just layered a piece of the paper in here. And I went ahead and added, this is another gorgeous Venice lace trim that Julie carries in her store. And what I love about this one is it's easy to cut apart, and you can use it. It makes a good corner edge or for like a card like this, but also if you have like a vintage photo that you want to frame out, this is a gorgeous piece for that. And then here's one of her little appliques, and when you purchase these, you get like 6 in a bag, so you get quite a few for not that much. And usually I go ahead and add some sort of flat back pearl or something in the middle, but I wanted to keep this relatively flat when it closed. So I refrained from decorating anymore. I really wanted to, but I wanted it to close fairly flat, so I just left it. And then Then on the inside, I did stamp this image right here in the background. It was a postcard, but then in the end, I ended up covering most of it just because of the laces and trims. So around the edge, on the top, I did layer some more Kraft Supply for You trim. It's a really dainty looking rose trim. It's gorgeous. I've used it on quite a few projects already. And I think I'm down to just a very small piece of that one left. And then again, on the inside of this one, I layered some more of that smaller Venice trim just to kind of edge off my box. And then on the inside of the box, I went ahead and just took a piece of fabric from my stash and just lined the inside of it. And so again, you can fit all sorts of fun little goodies in there for whoever I'll be giving this to. So that is my completed project. So thanks again everybody so much for watching. Again, I will link all of Kraft Supplies for You information below in the description box. There is an online store, a .net store, and a Zip store. And we also have a Facebook page if you guys are interested in checking that out. We also have a Pinterest board where we post photos of our projects. And they're also working on a blog currently and also an Instagram page. So make sure if you guys belong to those different social medias that you go and check us out for more inspiration on how you can use your Kraft Supplies for You products in projects. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. If you have any questions, please leave them below. Take care everybody and happy crafting.